And I have a lot of born again Christian friends, you
Yeah.
know, that were from the New Age, and found Jesus and
Yeah.
everything, and now they cast everything aside that is not Jesus. So everything is.
Then they don't actually understand Jesus
Mm,
because there have been many misinterpretations and misrepresentations and misunderstandings about what Jesus actually said and what he was all about, because a lot of the dialogue that came from him and others around him have been altered for the purposes of political power and certain kinds of gain, and therefore you don't really have an absolutely thoroughly accurate representation of what was really said at the time. Plus, in not understanding Jesus in the full capacity of his expression, then many people who purport to understand him or purport to believe in him actually have no understanding of the fact that he was presenting both a male and a female aspect in the Mary of the Magdalene. This is a couple. This is a male and female representation in balance, and many of the things that were actually talked about are extremely metaphysical and not exactly what the idea of the Christian belief system purports to be true.
mm.
I was wondering if Moses actually went up on Mount Sinai and got these two tablets and where they came from.
He was given knowledge. It was an extraterrestrial encounter. The knowledge was inscribed in what you might call tablets, but not exactly of stone.
And what were they made of and where are they now?
They were a kind of crystalline formation, a kind of a crystalline nanomaterial with information that was downloadable upon touching the surface with your hand. There were some inscriptions in it, but only in the most general sense of, here's this category, this category, this category, this category, this category. Touch here, you will get that knowledge. Touch here, you will get that knowledge. Touch here, you will get that knowledge. Now, what has been translated in your language as the so-called 10 commandments were not commandments. That's a misinterpretation. They were simply 10 expressions of existence. In other words, to give you an example, what translated as, I am the Lord your God, you shall not have false gods before me, as a commandment, actually was, I am all that is, anything else you can imagine is still me, so there can be no false gods. That's the difference. Where are they now? Wouldn't you like to know? We're actually not allowed to tell you. However, we are allowed to give you a hint, if we may.
I would love a hint.
All right. What is the most famous story about someone solving a riddle that you have in your culture? Nope. Louder.
Something, the Sphinx?
What a surprise. See what you can find. Solve the riddle.
Okay, I have
We're
to
only
think
allowed to
about
tell
that.
you so much. We cannot intervene in this process. But they do exist. They can be found. In, or perhaps out of time.
And this extraterrestrial presence that gave us these tablets, are they also responsible for the Jews being in the desert for 40 years and the parting of the sea?
Yes. They are a branch of what you have come to understand as the Anunnaki, but not the original ones.
And do you know why they chose to give it to the Jews?
I do.
Can you tell us why?
Not my job to tell you. Someone else will tell you in time or out of it.
The flood is the story of the destruction of Atlantis.
Okay, the flood, primarily.
Yes, because the asteroidal or cometary body that slammed into what you call the Atlantic Ocean created great tsunamis that wiped out Atlantis, but also affected many other parts of the nearby land masses, such as your North and Central South America, your Africa, Mediterranean, and European coastlines, and Middle Eastern. So therefore, the idea of the story of the flood is a racial memory of the destruction caused by the tsunamis from that impact in your ocean.
Basically, the idea of what you typically on your planet refer to as an angelic energy. We can euphemistically say, now of course this is in a sense a symbol, but we can euphemistically say that they are the next step down from all that is. The first split off from all that is are what you call angelic consciousnesses. Does that make sense, first of all?
Not yet.
All right. You understand the concept of all that is?
Yes.
What you typically call God?
Yes.
Well, you understand that everything is made of God, yes?
Yes.
Therefore, everything in a sense is like a step down, taking the frequency and differentiating it and splitting it up into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Well, the angelic realm is the first step down from God. The first reflection of all that is into many reflections. That's what you call the angelic level. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Ascended masters are simply beings who allow themselves to incorporate within their expression of being in any given reality more or most of the totality of the collective consciousness of that reality, and their vibration raises up, and they can sometimes remain in that reality, dispensing information, sharing information, or they can ascend to the point where they completely leave that reality, maybe even leave physical reality altogether. Ascension is just a matter of degree of frequency, in the same way that you could say that steam is the ascended master of ice.
What was the Ark of the Covenant, and who gave Moses the Ten Commandments, if they actually occurred?
The Ark is a device that was mostly a communication device, but also could be used to channel energy in a variety of ways for a variety of purposes. It was a communication device between those humans and an extraterrestrial society. The Ten Commandments were not originally 10 commandments. They were guidelines that explain the idea of the relationship between you and creation. I am the Lord your God, thou shalt not have false gods before me, was originally delivered as the idea of, I am all that is. Anything you may think is a false god isn't, because I am everything and cannot be false. Quite a difference. You understand?
Yes.
So that's the idea that those guidelines were delivered, both through the idea of the auspices of telepathic instruction, but also the device was delivered from an extraterrestrial society that people on your planet referred to as angels of God, but they basically were an extraterrestrial society.
So when Moses went up and got the tablets and all of that.
A ship landed on top of the mountain and delivered what needed to be delivered.
Thank you.
But again, there was much misinterpretation, because it's coming from a very high dimensional level and being translated or stepped down into physical reality. And in that step down process, there can be automatic distortion and misrepresentation of concepts that come from higher levels if the filters for fear-based beliefs are, shall we say, getting in the way.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Yes.
The idea of the Magdalene was the equal opposite, so to speak, of the individual understood as Jesus Christ, and why Magdalene was his primary disciple, and more than that. So together, the two of them are really more representative of the idea of what has, shall we say, been misunderstood as the information shared by Jesus and Mary Magdalene. It should have come as a duality. It should have come as a new form of Trinity. But again, because of the fear-based beliefs in the male energy at the time in that culture, the female part was not accepted due to the insecurities of the masculine disciples.
So you've mentioned before that if we were to time travel back in time, because our frequency is much higher now, that we would glow if we encountered the historical beings.
You would appear to them to glow, yes.
Yeah. So did Jesus appear to glow also?
From time to time, yes. This is what is usually referred to as the transfiguration in your religious doctrines. The idea that he was perceived as being surrounded by a glowing aura.
The question, what is my purpose in life? Passion is your purpose in life. Your purpose is passion. What does that mean? It means that passion and all of its expressions, excitement, happiness, joy, creativity, love, are all different ways of expressing the vibration of your true natural self, what we call your signature frequency. Your signature frequency is that resonant energy, that vibration that is unique to you, that identifies you as a unique aspect of all that is of creation. And the way you apply that signature frequency through passion is to act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability, with no insistence or assumption as to what the outcome ought to be, as to what to come to fruition, but to allow the synchronicity in your life to present to you the opportunities that contain that excitement so you can recognize it, because excitement is the compass needle that points to your magnetic north. And by acting on it to the best of your ability, you will bring about in your life what we call the complete kit. You will allow it to work for you. And you will discover very readily, very easily, that excitement can function in your life as the driving engine, as the organizing principle, as the path of least resistance, as the thread that leads to all other expressions of excitement, and as the reflective mirror that will reveal to you what may be within you that is out of alignment with that excitement, so you can identify it and bring it back into alignment and expand your excitement in that way. And simply by following that formula of acting at every moment to the best of your ability on your highest excitement, with no insistence on how the outcome should look, you will activate that complete kit, and it will work for you automatically, effortlessly, every moment, without fail, as it's working for you now. But the idea is to not use the mechanism of creation to reinforce the things that are out of alignment with your preferred self, your natural self, your true self, but to use the very same mechanism to reinforce what is in alignment with who you prefer to be. As you allow yourself to move forward in that way, your life will become an ecstatic explosion of synchronicity, very magical. Things will begin to happen all around you, because magic is, again, the true nature of existence. Miracles are the natural order of things, not the exception. And you can experience more and more of that miraculous magic the more you are in alignment with your natural energy, with your natural flow. Your willingness to act this way in life is a commitment that you make to yourself that leads you to the understanding that there is, in fact, a fundamental principle to this idea of acting on your passion. But before we get to that, let us give an example, shall we say, of how this concept can be practically applied in your physical reality by using the example of some form of project or business or career that may excite you, that you may be very attracted to, and demonstrate at every step, at every point, how to allow yourself to stay in alignment with that energy. So first and foremost, of course, the principle itself of passion, being that you need to act on those things that really are representative and reflective of that highest excitement, that joy, that creativity. Now, of course, again, please remember that excitement doesn't mean that you have to be jumping up and down, running around, as you say, with your hair on fire. But the idea is that it can be experienced as bliss, as a state of balanced peace as well. There are many expressions of the idea of passion and excitement. Those and also compassion being one of them. But as you allow yourself to experience this excitement, this bodily, physical translation of that vibrational energy that is your signature frequency, and you thus gravitate and attract yourself to some project, business, career, or what have you, or even just moment to moment, step by step, first and foremost, make sure that the project, I'll just use that term for now, is truly representative of your highest passion in all ways. In all ways, so that you do it in the way that is most exciting, so that it is really reflective of your excitement in all of its aspects. That it is, in all of its components, truly aligned, truly being experienced, truly being created, truly being laid out with that passion in mind, so that you are doing it where you wish to do it that's most exciting, with whom you wish to do it that's most exciting, which leads you to the idea of another principle of passion, and that is, after passion, after project, then there is preparedness. Be prepared. Learn the things that are germane, that will give you the skills, that will give you the abilities to follow up on your passion. And again, as we said, there is no need to be afraid that some of the things that are required that you might need to learn would have to be learned in any other way other than the way that's most exciting. Many of you have this misunderstanding that just because you have to learn something in order to better enable you to act on your passion, that somehow the learning of that thing is outside of your passion. Nothing could be further from the truth. There is always a way. If you truly need to learn something, if you truly need to develop a skill that will give you a better ability to act on your passion, there is always going to be a way that's the most exciting way you can learn that thing. So please don't create contradictory definitions within your excitement by assuming that you can act on your excitement, but that the thing you need to learn to do it best would actually be not exciting. That's a contradiction in the definition of excitement. Anything that you truly need to learn must, by definition, be capable of being learned in a way that is equal to the excitement of the thing itself. If you want to look at that as an equation and a formula, go ahead. But that's the way it works. Your definition of excitement must be clear and self-consistent so that you don't have contradictory and conflicting definitions within your consciousness about what your excitement is or what other areas of your life it extends into that would somehow be contrary to that excitement, which it cannot be if it's a true definition. If you find that there is conflict, if you find there's contradiction, then it is important to realize that you may not have a clear definition of excitement, and it's time to refine that, time to examine it, time to explore it, time to make sure it's all lined up, and that all the definitions you're using for the things you really need to do are being defined in the most exciting way possible. After you know that this is your passion, after the project is designed by you to be expressed in the most exciting way, after you have attracted to yourself the idea of all the things you need to learn to be prepared in the most exciting way, Then the next, after passion and project and preparedness, is people. Attract to yourself all the best people who are equally excited about what it is you are doing, who you wish to work with side by side, who you wish to collaborate with. Because again, doing what excites you the most must not only be done where it's most exciting, how it's most exciting, but with whom it's most exciting. And if those people do not exhibit the same passion, the same compatible vibration, they may not be the ones that really need to be aligned with you or you with them. Do not fear to allow yourself to recognize that things may be vibrationally incompatible with some individuals, because by allowing yourself to only align with those who are vibrationally compatible with your passion and you with theirs, you are thus allowing more synchronicity to occur, more magnification and amplification and acceleration to occur. And you're also doing a favor, a loving favor to those who are not vibrationally compatible by letting them go their own way. Because then you are allowing them to find what is truly exciting for them instead of holding them to something that may not really be exciting for them. Allow yourself to make sure that arena is also clear and clean. And finally, in this 5-part idea, after passion, after project, after preparedness, after people, is persistence. The idea of following through, of taking action in all the ways that need to be taken, all the way out, all the way through. And again, there is absolutely nothing about these ideas of persistence and these ideas of taking action and following through that has to be in any way contradictory to the vibration of your excitement and your passion. There will always be a way to do that. And again, in some senses, it is self-reinforcing, because if you truly, truly, truly are passionate about what it is you're taking action on, then you will persist, because nothing else excites you more than this. And that brings about its own persistence. And this brings us to the true underlying fundamental principle of passion. And that is, you have brought yourself to a place where there is no other choice. Period. You ensure that you don't create reasons that are contradictory to the idea of your passion. You don't create any other choice that seems as exciting, as reasonable, as logical for you to persist on. The idea of following through and persistence will come automatically with your passion when you allow yourself to recognize truly that you've arrived at a place where there is no other choice in that moment but that thing that is representative at that moment of your highest joy, your highest passion. Don't create reasons to do things that are outside of that vibration. Now, that being said, as has been said, certainly you have to honor your belief system as it exists in that moment. Because if you really do believe that your excitement can't support you, and you believe you need to hold on to the things that you're doing that are not necessarily representative of your highest excitement, but you believe you need them in order to support yourself in life, then honor your belief system and don't let go of those things until you yourself are absolutely certain, absolutely know, at whatever rate you're comfortable, at whatever pace works best for you, that your excitement can in fact support you. But at least give yourself the chance, at least give yourself the opportunity. Every single opportunity you can act on that is representative of your excitement, act on it to the best of your ability with no insistence on the outcome. And bit by bit, by bit by bit, and day by day by day, you will allow your excitement to demonstrate to you, to prove to you that more and more every day in every way it actually will bring about the synchronous opportunities and the synchronous circumstances that will be capable of supporting you in some way, shape, or form, as long as you are willing to open up your definitions of what support means. Because again, excitement being a complete kit will bring you the type of support that is truly necessary at that moment, even though it may be very different looking than the type of support you're used to receiving or that your society has taught you think you need in order to go to the next stage or the next level. The type of support that needs to be there to allow you to continue to act on higher and higher levels of your excitement will be there if you allow yourself to understand, again, how not to have a contradictory definition of excitement and understand it as a complete kit. And by complete, we mean complete, which means it leaves nothing out that you truly need. This is how the mechanism works. And the real fundamental principle, when you finally get to the point of acting on your passion because there is simply no other choice for you, you will accelerate at such a rate and your life will become so ecstatic and so magical and things will appear before you in such a synchronistic way that you will think you are dreaming, which you are. But you will be experiencing it in the physical dream. And it will be one more way that you can demonstrate and prove to yourself that you are creating your reality, that your definitions in your conscious mind, in what makes up your personality structure, are the foundations that determine how you experience yourself in reality, as reality, how it's reflected to you. And as you get a handle on understanding that those definitions are the blueprints, and as you allow yourself to change your definitions to be more in alignment with your passion, more representative of how you prefer to define your life, yourself, your circumstances, then again you create more and more alignment, more and more harmonics within your experience of reality. And you can use whatever feelings may come up when the kit of excitement may show you something, may reveal something in you that might be out of alignment with your passion, with your true vibration. You can use those harmonics. You can use that assurance that if you change your definitions, you'll bring it back into alignment. You use your feelings, you use your emotions to trace back to what definitions must be true in order for you to have those feelings, because no feeling can be had without a definition first. And the more you understand and apply this, and truly, truly understand that this is a description of the mechanism of creation itself, and use it from that perspective, then again, the more everything will flow, the smoother everything will be. It's really that simple. Simple as coming down to the realization and the understanding that there is no other choice for you. And you don't have to invent any other reasons to do something other than that. You don't have to buy into any definitions that are out of alignment with what you prefer. That's really the simple principle, the fundamental principle underlying passion, is that you are making a decision, you are making a choice, and that choice is this and nothing else that is not representative of your highest joy, of your highest frequency. And again, at whatever rate is comfortable for you. But that's how it works. Does that make sense to you? Yes. Is that something you think you can get passionate about?
All right. More questions.
Hello, Bashar. You are always energetic.
High energy person.
Because I would like to feel excited all the time,
Yes.
I bought a lottery.
All right.
And even though before I bought the lottery,
Yes.
I created a new belief equation. That is, I bought the lottery because I'm going to win.
Well, all right, but you have to also realize that you could just be excited about buying lottery tickets whether you win or not.
Well, I see,
Yes. But the idea is to look at the concept holistically. If you stay within the energy of knowing you are abundant and act on the thing that excites you the most at any given moment without expectation that it must come to pass in a certain way, then all the different ways that abundance can come to you will come. But the actions that you take must be taken for their own sake. Just because that action is exciting, not because of what you think it will result in. So Definitely stay within the energy and excitement of abundance. If suddenly the most exciting thing you can think of doing is actually buying a lottery ticket, then buy it. But as soon as you have bought it, forget about the connection to the idea of money. Just forget you have done it and go on to the next most exciting thing. Because then you leave the door open for abundance to come to you in the easiest way possible, because you never know. Buying the lottery ticket may not be the actual easiest way that abundance could come to you. But by buying the lottery ticket, if it is done from a state of excitement, then you are showing that you have faith in the idea of abundance, but you're not putting out an expectation that it must absolutely come in that way, because maybe it will come in another way. It is also important to remember that the definition of abundance is that which allows you to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Sometimes you may not need money to do a certain thing. Money is all well and good on your planet, but it's not the only form of abundance. If you stay in your abundant energy, however, and stay excited about abundance, you may find that even while you might be excited about buying a lottery ticket, someone might just suddenly come along and give you something that you need, and then you don't even need money. So by all means, have the faith to take action on the things that excite you the most, but do not attach any expectation for how the abundance must come to you, because then you will be truly abundant. Just do the things that excite you because they excite you. There is no other reason to do them. Do you understand? And is this exciting?
I start to feel somehow excited, but I think I want to put it in this way. That is, I feel excited and I take an action on it, but I let go of the expectation on it.
Yes, that is true abundance, because now you're free and not attached to anything. You're not attached to having it have to happen in a certain way, which actually places a limitation on all the ways abundance might come to you. You see what I mean?
I feel so quite excited.
So excited?
Almost. Yeah. Almost.
Well, if you feel abundant, if you want to feel abundant, you don't want to feel limited, correct?
I hope so.
All right.
I think so.
So then, imagine this. Let's say you don't know there is somebody who's about to come along and give you something for free. If you're over here insisting that you have to win money, then your focus is over here and you will never see that they're over here going, hey, this is free, look over here. So you may be looking at this door, but you have closed that door and your abundance can't actually get to you. But if you understand that you took action in this direction just because it was representative of excitement in general, and then stand back and remain open and look and see that there may be many doors through which the abundance will manifest, then you'll be free to accept abundance from any direction, instead of insisting that it must just come through this one doorway and shutting all the other doors. Isn't it more exciting and more free to feel that when you take action on your excitement, that abundance could come at you from any direction, even ones that would surprise you completely?
I'll open all of my doors.
Yes, open all the doors. I am not saying that you cannot win the lottery. However, I am saying that you actually have a better chance, better odds of winning the lottery when you don't insist that that is how your abundance is going to come to you. Because your life already works perfectly, and if you allow it to show you where your abundance can come from, it will bring you abundance in all possible forms. Does that make some sense to you?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you. How exciting. Now you have an abundance of understanding. Next question.
Nice to meet
and
you.
to you, good day.
I think to a certain level, I've been achieving that I allow myself to do whatever I want to do. But when I think about myself, is it okay that I'm doing this, or is it okay to trust myself? Some insecurity comes in.
What is your insecurity? What are you worried will happen if you are living your excitement? Do you have a belief that you are being selfish?
By the way, my work is to have communication with people, and after I have that form of communication, I start to doubt that did I give the best thing, or did I give the useful thing to the person?
All you have to do is ask yourself the following question after every such communication. Did I do the best I could at the moment? If the answer is yes, forget about it and go on to something else. If the answer is no, I did not do the best I could have done, use it as a reflection and a lesson for how you can do your best the next time. Then forget about it and go on to something else. It's as simple as that. Unless, of course, you would prefer it to be more complicated.
No, I don't want
to.
to.
All right, then. I guarantee it is that simple if you're willing to allow it to be that simple. Because you are basically a good person at heart, yes. All you have to do is say, did I do my best? Yes, I did the best I could. It doesn't mean I won't learn more. It doesn't mean I won't do it differently next time. But right now, I did the best I could. If at any given moment, you are doing the best you can to be the best you that you can be, you have done your job. Relax, do something else. Will that work for you?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
One more question.
Oh, all right. One more question.
By the way, I have 4 children.
A fortune read?
No. She has 4 children.
Oh, 4 children. All right. Yes, 4 children.
I myself, I am interested in metaphysical way of life.
Yes.
And I apply to my children, but my children have their own friends and friends' parents.
Yes.
And when I meet them, I feel that their way of thinking or way of life is different from mine.
Well, yes,
and I wonder
so
how to cope with them.
how to cope with them?
Right.
I will tell you exactly how to cope with them. Did you not say that you were interested in metaphysical way of life?
I am very
Well,
much.
metaphysical way of life means that you understand it is important to allow others to believe how they want to believe. Spiritual way of life is understanding that all ways of life are equal. They are just different, that's all. You must respect that they believe they are doing what works best for them, just as you want them to allow you to do what works best for you. So you can respect that what they are doing works beautifully for them, and you can appreciate the beauty of what works for them, even though you also understand that something different works for you. Does that make some sense?
Yes, very much.
I will also bet that your 4 children give you lots of practice at communication.
Who gives practice?
Her 4 children
Oh,
give
4
her a
children.
lot of practice
それから、
at communication.
Yeah, that's right.
Does that
Thank
help you?
Very much.
Thank you.
Still, we have some
Yes,
time.
yes. One more.
My name is Mieko, and I am a musician, or I'm involved with musical activities.
Oh, all right. Hello. Good day.
I once in a while I perform in front of people, and when I perform, even though I feel excited, I feel nervous too. And when I am nervous, I tend to make mistakes. So I don't want to play that tape that I performed. Even though I tried, I know that I paid my best efforts and performed. But as I grow older, the habit is hard to change. So I wonder how I can change this habit. I tend to criticize myself.
All right. Again, please remember, habits are not hard to change. That's a belief. Once you recognize you have a habit, you don't have it anymore. If you keep on doing the same thing, it's because you believe you must continue to do the same thing for some reason. You say you are excited about playing your music, and that may be so. But obviously in energy, many times you have a greater fear that somehow you are going to be found lacking. And what that simply means is that you are judging yourself as somehow being lacking something.
Right.
What do you believe you are missing? Are you judging yourself by comparing yourself to other people and thinking I'm not as good as them?
Well,
Is that where it comes from, or does it come from someplace else? In what way do you believe you are not?
I have a fear that
Yes.
people may call me a failure.
A failure. All right, I understand. But let me ask you a question. May I ask you a question?
Yes,
Oh, thank
please.
you. Now, what instrument do you play?
Piano.
All right. You know that the piano has many keys, yes?
Yes.
All right, well, is there a piece that you play that uses every key on the piano?
I don't think so.
All right. So no particular piece makes you need to use every single key? No
Pia-
composition needs to have every single key touched at some point in the composition?
Right.
All right, well, let us imagine you are going to do different compositions in one concert. Let us assume that over the course of this concert, with these different pieces you will play, eventually you will touch every single one of the keys on the piano keyboard. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
All right. Now, I am going to tell you, you're going to go out there and you're going to perform this concert. And I'm going to tell you, just before you go out on stage to begin your first piece, that one of the keys on the piano doesn't work. Would you want to use that piano, or would you rather have another piano that works?
The latter one.
Oh, all right. Well, why? Why would you choose the latter piano instead of the piano with one key that makes no sound?
As my performance goes on, and if I happen to need that key,
Yes.
I cannot perform the tune in a correct way.
You would not be able to perform in the right way. The whole piece somehow would not be able to be complete because that one key is missing, yes?
Right.
Yes? Then why are you taking yourself off the keyboard of life? You are saying that you believe you have no purpose, in a sense, expressing the true self that you are. You do not believe that you really have something to give. You're like that one key you think doesn't work. But if you're there, if you're on the keyboard at all, it is important for you to realize there's a reason why you're there. You need that key to play the whole piece. So when you judge yourself, it is like you are making yourself not belong on the keyboard. And you are saying then that the whole piece cannot be played. All the other people are deprived of your beautiful note because you are judging yourself as not belonging or not working on the keyboard. Every note is unique. Your expression of music is a unique gift. If somehow you judge that you are not worthy to express your musical gift, then you are depriving others of that one beautiful note that would complete the whole piece. You have to trust that the way you choose to express yourself is perfect for what it needs to be to allow the whole song to be complete. Do you understand the analogy?
So what you mean is, even though I make a mistake in my performance, I am giving something to other people.
Yes, and the more you understand that you are really truly giving a great gift to other people, you will relax about the way you perform and you will make less mistakes. Do you understand?
Relax. Yes, that's the point.
But the relaxation comes from trusting that whatever it is you do give is perfect for what you're giving, and that that is a gift to other people to be able to hear the unique expression that you give. You understand?
Yeah.
Please go and make beautiful music.
Thank you.
Perhaps this would be a perfect time for you to all enjoy a short break. We will resume communication after your break. Thank you. All right, Jose, let us continue this transmission. Let us speak a little bit about the harmony of following your excitement and how to look at this concept holistically. Many times when we speak to your human people about following their individual excitement, people ask us a question. They say, Bashar, but if everyone is following their own individual excitement, then won't that conflict with everyone else's excitement? How can everyone do whatever they want all the time and allow everyone else to also do what they want all the time? Wouldn't that create conflict? The simple answer is no. You must understand this concept of following your excitement holistically. If you are being your true self, then you will automatically fit with everyone else who is being their true self. The only time there is conflict, both on an individual and a large scale, is when individuals are resisting being their natural self. If you come from the understanding that creation already works, that all the pieces in creation already fit together, then you will understand the nature of this harmony. Disharmony and friction only come from not being your true self, the self you were originally created to be. Because then you are creating yourself to be a shape that doesn't fit within the original picture of the full idea of creation. But if you are your true natural self, you will automatically fit with all others being their true natural self in all possible ways. The harmony that is generated by everyone following their true excitement is profound. Without trying to figure it out, without planning ahead, everyone just winds up being exactly in the right place at the right time when they need to be. Without having to think about it or force anything to happen artificially, everyone just finds themselves interacting with exactly the right person they need to interact with at every given moment. Because the vibration of your true natural self automatically orchestrates itself with all other true vibrations, making everything dance together smoothly. That is why harmony is actually a great paradox. Because while at first it would seem that the more of an individual you are, the more conflict that would create, just the opposite is actually true. The more of the true individual you become, the more harmonious you will become with all other true individuals. The only time there is conflict with the idea of being an individual is when you individualize yourself in such a way that you separate yourself from the harmony of the whole picture. Not understanding how you are connected to the whole creates isolated, separated, conflicting individual. Understanding how you are connected to the whole by acting in your joy and excitement and being your true self creates harmonious individual. And also, please understand the following idea. Segregation and separation and disconnection, in that sense, creates more and more and more negative energy and more separation. Positive energy, harmony, creates more and more integration. And integration and harmony is geometrically expansive. So as we have recently said, a few harmonious, integrated people will completely balance the idea of many negative, segregated, disconnected people. The energy idea, the energy signature of 1,000 disconnected negative people can be completely balanced and offset by the energy signature of just 10 people acting in harmony. That is why your planet is now accelerating in spiritual ways, because it doesn't require that even half of the planet or even a quarter of the planet be focused on spirituality for your planet to start moving faster toward the age of transformation. You have already long ago passed the critical mass number needed to help your planet continue to accelerate in a positive way until it reaches harmony. And on one level, that is why you understand, even unconsciously, it is safe now to bring all of these negative ideas and conflicts out into the open, because now you know you can transform them and you're no longer in danger of destroying yourself. So each and every one of you, each and every single individual willing to live in their true vibration is like adding another 100 individuals to the acceleration of the world. By your year of 2013, every single individual that becomes aligned in their true vibration will be like adding 1,000 individuals in positive energy to the world. By your year of 2020, every single individual willing to transform themselves in positive ways will be like adding 100,000 new positive individuals to the world. By your year of 2025, every single individual willing to become the vibration of their excitement will be like adding 1 million new positive individuals to the world's energy. By your year of 2037, you will have billions of positive individuals working together individually and as one. And that unified energy is what will allow your planet to finally be able to join our association of many different worlds, working in harmony with all of us. So each and every one of you willing to truly relax into your joy and your excitement and be your true self, you add that much more momentum to the world's ability as a whole to become unified and at peace. The more each and every one of you are willing to trust your imagination and create new ideas in the world, new ideas of information, new ideas of communication, new ideas of education, new ideas of business, new ideas of technology, new ideas of power generation, new ideas of social community, new ideas of spiritual expression, a new definition of life on earth for all. The sooner you are each individually willing to take action in these exciting ways, the sooner life on earth will become your dream. And this is why we extend to each and every one of you our deepest appreciation in co-creating these communications with us, because this adds energy to that positive momentum as well. Let us now
have a question. You once spoke about how the Bible had a lot of the stories of Atlantis. And I was wondering if you could potentially elaborate a little bit on which part of that.
The flood.
Yeah.
The flood is the story of the destruction of Atlantis.
Okay, the flood, primarily.
Yes, because the asteroidal or cometary body that slammed into what you call the Atlantic Ocean created great tsunamis that wiped out Atlantis, but also affected many other parts of the nearby land masses, such as your North and Central South America, your Africa, Mediterranean, and European coastlines, and Middle Eastern. So therefore, the idea of the story of the flood is a racial memory of the destruction caused by the tsunamis from that impact in your ocean.
Awesome. And how many ancient cultures were given the information of the things from that time to our prehistory of the precession of the equinox and the coming of the golden age?
Given by Atlantean survivors, you mean?
Yes.
Well, Egypt obviously was given information. Many places in Europe were. The British Isles were given a lot of that information. Some information was also spread back into the North, Central, and South American continents. And the idea of it stretching all the way into your Asiatic continents, the buildings of certain structures, such as pyramids around your world, and so on and so forth, certain kinds of temples that align with the idea of stellar phenomenology, are in general representative of some of the ancient knowledge that the survivors of Atlantis spread around the world to help people understand that these things do happen, that these cycles can reoccur, and to prevent such destruction from happening again if possible.
Excellent. And are these beings, did they achieve immortality?
Are you talking about Atlanteans?
The Atlantean priesthood.
Physical immortality? No.
No. Okay.
No.
Got it. So, but in spirit, those beings are still connected very strongly to the Earth sphere.
Of course. Some of them, not all of them. Some of them have gone on to other things. But it will always remain as part of them, because any experience always remains as a part of you, no matter what state you're in, physical or non-physical. It's a part of who you are.
That's beautiful. And I have a question about the Ark of the Covenant. in the
Yes.
same proportions of the coffer and the Great Pyramid. Were those the same dimensions?
There are relationships between them. They're not absolutely the same dimensions, but there are similarities in ratios that work in both of them.
Got it. Because you once talked about the coffer and the Great Pyramid being a certain
Yes.
dimension with the granite, so you could.
Yes. So it's more about the idea of resonant ratios than it is actual physical dimensions. It's more like scaling something up or down, but making sure that they still contain the same energetic ratios.
Okay, cool. And they were used for different purposes.
Yes, it can be.
Yes. Well, the Ark of the Covenant was more of a step-down transformer of energy for what?
For a variety of purposes, yes. For communication, for energy release, for providing certain kinds of vibrational states, different applications for different needs at different times. It could be adjusted.
Okay. Is it true that, like in the movie we have of Indiana Jones, where the Ark of the Covenant was talked about how it could be used for malicious purposes as well, or purposes in the wrong hands?
It could. It could. Again, like any device, like any equipment, it can be used for positive or negative reasons.
Yes. Was this a standard part of technology in the Atlantean civilization that was given to Egypt?
Again, the basic premises were understood in Atlantis, but it wasn't exactly used in the same way. It's all about resonance. It's all about frequency. It's all about ratios and proportions and relations between them. So the basic concepts were understood, but they weren't used quite in the same way.
Okay, how would they be used different?
In Atlantean times, the vibrational resonances that existed in the ark were used for the propagation of light and energy.
Okay, because this had to do with more of their crystal technology in those days?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. And an important question I have to ask, which is going around a lot right now in the New Agey community, is this big shift of integrity and people working through all sorts of different things.
Yes.
But I feel a huge misunderstanding in the New Agey community is people misunderstanding the idea of right and wrong, how you speak about it.
Yes.
Because I know you are talking about positive energy and negative energy.
Yes.
But people will take these things of right and wrong and, create kind of a not clear life of having a grounded moral compass.
Yes, of course. There is alignment and there is misalignment. And many people will have misunderstandings and misinterpretations of many of the concepts that we have discussed with all of you, because they are not necessarily as practiced as they could be and not necessarily as refined in their understanding of these concepts. In a sense, I'm going to put it in an old kind of colloquial way. Again, not meaning to be negative per se, but you'll understand it through this simple mnemonic. Many people know just enough metaphysics to be dangerous.
Yes.
When they arrive at a certain point of understanding, they think they know enough. They think they know it all. And therefore, a lot of their applications are misguided. They don't take the time to go more deeply into their understanding of how things actually work, and therefore they can be misled and be misleading to others and misinterpret many different kinds of things. So again, it's about either really truly being clear and having a deep understanding, a clear understanding of how things work, or not. But again, it's up to each individual to decide for themselves what they do and don't align with, and that's part of the experience and part of the process. So it also helps us determine who actually is ready and is not ready for contact. So that's okay.
Yes. And I have a lot of born again Christian friends,
Yes.
that were from the New Age and found Jesus and everything, and now they cast everything aside that is not Jesus. So everything is.
Then they don't actually understand Jesus,
Mm,
because there have been many misinterpretations and misrepresentations and misunderstandings about what Jesus actually said and what he was all about, because a lot of the dialogue that came from him and others around him have been altered for the purposes of political power and certain kinds of gain, and therefore you don't really have an absolutely thoroughly accurate representation of what was really said at the time. Plus, in not understanding Jesus in the full capacity of his expression, then many people who purport to understand him or purport to believe in him actually have no understanding of the fact that he was presenting both a male and a female aspect in the Mary of the Magdalene. This is a couple. This is a male and female representation in balance, and many of the things that were actually talked about are extremely metaphysical and not exactly what the idea of the Christian belief system purports to be true.
mm, got it. So more, this is hard for me to ask, but more, okay, so more like how you've said the Magdalena things and more of the Essenian stuff and the Rosicrucian stuff is a little more coordinated.
Even there are misinterpretations in those. It is more the pure idea of the understanding of the balance between male and female in the expression of Yeshua and Maria, or Miriam the Magdalene.
So more just the simplicity of harmony between the sexes.
Yes.
Okay.
And the idea of the understanding of both sides' connection in balance to all that is, and the expressions thereof, many of which are very familiar now to those who have listened to metaphysical concepts in your modern age. A lot of what was expressed that can be found in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene are actually very metaphysical concepts as you would recognize them in your modern age. Remember, she was his chief disciple.
Yes. Beautiful. So very, very simple. It almost connects to just yin and yang and the basics of proportion.
There is a book that exists on your planet that may be of assistance to you in understanding some of this. And it is a book that is called When God Had a Wife. Investigate that, and it will give you a lot of information about more accurate representations of the positions of male and female energy throughout your history. Much of it is not what you think because of what has been made of it and what has been left out and what has been corrupted.
When God
Had a Wife.
Beautiful. Yes, I will look into that. Thank you, Bashar.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bashar. You helped me so much today. I truly appreciate you.
It is our passion and our pleasure and our deep appreciation to all of you as well. Good day.
Good day.
Hi, Bashar. It's Tammy from Israel. Can you tell us more about Yael and Pleiadians' world? Like how many hours do they sleep and what do they eat and how their structures looks like? What do they do in their daily lives? Thank you. I love you. Bye.
That's a lot of information. We will not be delivering all of that. However, both civilizations do not sleep much at all. And it depends upon what you call sleep, because they can make connections to their spirit selves in a more constant way than you do, and therefore don't need the idea of sleep in the same way that you do. They might even just drop into what you would call a meditative state temporarily, and it would accomplish the same thing that you're accomplishing by having many hours of sleep. So neither of them really sleep much in that sense. The idea, again, of food is that it is usually of a lighter quality, more of the idea of either juices or vegetables in that sense. And in their daily lives, it depends upon the individual. Some are creatively artistic, some are scientifically investigative, some have many different kinds of functions according to their passions. So in that sense, they have a lot of similarity, even though they have a lot of differences as well. For the Pleiadians are mostly your genetic cousins in the sense of being of assistance to you to move forward in your civilization in an exciting way that brings you closer together. Whereas the Yael are more specifically about introducing the hybrid children to your planet to begin the particular process of evolving into the sixth hybrid race.
Hello, hi Bashar, how are you?
Perfect. And you?
I'm great. Yeah, Bashar, so I have a question related to sacred circuits. So I wanted to know if tetraskelion or the swastik symbol that was also used in the Nazi flag with a circle in the center, a sacred circuit.
It is a sacred circuit, but on a higher level than we've delivered at this point. Understand that the swastika has been around for thousands of years and represents the idea of the flow of creative energy in the cosmos, in the universe. So yes, it's a sacred circuit that can help rewire the brain when focused on in a positive energy, in a positive state, to understand how to blend with and align with the creative energies of the universe, of all that is. But it has to be used that way. Obviously, the way the Nazis used it was a misunderstanding and a corruption of its original intention, which exists in many ancient civilizations, Tibetan, Native American, so on and so forth. They understood its original meaning and used it in its original way. So you can too, if you wish.
Okay, so is there a single word that we can associate with it?
A single word?
Yeah, like you have given for other sacred circuits.
Yes. Alignment with creation. It's not a single word, but it's a concept.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Bashar. And I also have a question related to the Anunnaki. So, why was it out of integrity on part of the Anunnaki to create humans for their survival?
Because it was against their laws to do so.
Okay,
Because the idea of the creation, the injection of their genetic material to create a new species was simply not within the realm of their acceptable laws at the time, especially because they didn't necessarily guide those people correctly, where new Anunnaki had to come in to do so to make up for the mistakes that that group of Anunnaki that created Homo sapiens undertook. So they broke their laws in many different ways,
okay,
out of desperation.
okay. And who was or what was Apep or Apophis that is said to have been attacking Ra, the ancient Egyptian god?
The idea of Apophis was simply the idea of the destructive principle.
Okay, so it was not an entity or some being.
Not in the way that you mean it, no. It's an archetypal energy that represents the energy of breaking things down, of destroying things so they can be rebuilt. Of course, there are many different interpretations that have happened on your planet.
Okay. And did the Sasquatch also have any incarnation connection to the ancient Orion system?
No.
Oh, okay. So they did not have any negative expressions of oppression or warfare.
They have their own pathway, but they do not share much of it with Homo sapiens.
Okay, so can we say, like, say the warfare and oppression is actually a genetic problem?
No. It's a training problem. It's a learning issue. It's a matter of happening into a system that has certain kinds of negative cycles associated with it in order for the purpose of overcoming them, of transforming them. But it's not really a genetic problem initially. It can embed itself in your genetics over time, but it doesn't originate because of the genetic structure.
Okay. And then you also mentioned that the Earth has a frequency of 7.85 hertz, and then Earth is also a world of cycles. So, how does this frequency of 7.85 hertz cause the cyclic nature of the Earth?
It is the base cycle that encourages you to come back to alignment. The idea is that when the cycle becomes something other than that, when the frequency becomes something other than that, you can be going out of alignment and following the cycles of destruction. But by going back into alignment with the natural resonance of the earth, then you are bringing yourself back into alignment and thus allowing yourself to go beyond the original cycles that give you the opportunity to explore negativity and limitation.
Okay, Bashar. And can you share a vibrational phone number for Shambhala?
Shambhala, or Shangri-La, as some people refer to it, has a image that you can meditate on of 3 crystal spheres, one being pure white, one being soft blue, and one being soft pink.
Okay, in what shape, or
In a triangle.
okay, in a triangle?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and then I think I will have the last question now. So, what is your definition of death, Bashar? And is there a way to have life review that we have after dying while we are alive?
Yes, you can experience some degree of life review while you are alive, but in most cases that would be pointless because you're still alive. Therefore, you wouldn't necessarily have a complete life review. You may get moments of it, flashes of it, that can help you align yourself. But in the idea of transitioning into spirit, when you are done with this particular experience, then it is more appropriate for you to have the entire life review, because then you can understand the relationship and the connections between every single moment of the actual physical life experience. But sometimes when people are in certain circumstances and they say, oh, my life flashed before my eyes, in some sense they are tapping into the idea of life review because they truly believe that at any moment they might die. But there are other circumstances where you can come to an understanding, a gestalt understanding of something, and tap into the idea of recognizing what something was all about in your life. But you will not necessarily have an entire life review unless you are either close to death or have actually died.
Okay, Bashar.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Bashar.
Good day.
Yeah, good day to you too. Bye.
Hi, Bashar. This is Karen from Belgium. I have learned to trust the signs that I get on my path, and there are a lot of signs that have to do with ancient Egypt. So I would like to know something more about ancient Egypt. What was the main energy frequency in ancient Egypt? Where did the inhabitants came from? And were there connections to Sirius or to Orion? Can you speak a bit more about this? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, there were many connections to Sirius and ancient Orion in being played out in many civilizations on your planet over time. As we have said, there are many stories that are the continuation from many different places that allow you to play them out and figure out how you would like them to conclude or move on by joining the Earth cycle of opportunity to explore those things. We're not sure what you're asking when you say what was the frequency of ancient Egypt, because you're talking about a combined frequency of many, many hundreds of thousands of different individuals. If you're looking for an overall representation of ancient Egypt as a resonant frequency, you could say that they were existing somewhere, depending on who was involved, in the neighborhood of about 60 to 70,000 up to 80,000 cycles per second. But again, it depends upon what era. It depends upon what their focus was at that particular time. It depends upon how many remnants of the Atlantean civilization they incorporated into their culture, and many other things. So we can't necessarily give you one particular frequency, but a range of frequencies from somewhere around 50 to 60 to 70 to 80,000 cycles per second, depending upon who was doing what in that culture at the time. Good day.
Hello. Hi, Bashar. How are you?
Perfect. And you?
Thank you very much. Good as well. Perfect. Good. As you are.
All right.
Bashar, I'm very happy to tell you that finally we have a result that prove that the devices that you describe are actually resonators.
Yes.
And we receive 10 times the amplitude of the input. We receive a resonant frequency 10 times greater. But we receive it with the cones that you describe, with the most primitive version.
That's why we gave you that basic form to begin with. It is the core of everything that you are exploring.
Yes, and the frequency that we have resonance is 80 kilohertz, but very interestingly, we have a secondary resonant frequency, which is 3 times higher.
Yes.
240 kilohertz. again, the resonance is 10 times greater.
Yes.
What I would like to ask you is that we know that sometimes higher voltage does not mean a generation of power. How we can improve this? Is there anything else we can do to improve this? Because my passion is to explore the space-time fields and create the device.
And then explore it. You will discover what you need. We have given you enough so that you will have the momentum to use your own imagination, to explore what you need, to find what you need at this moment. You have enough to go on, as you have just discovered and as you have just stated. You're getting the results that you need to take you further.
And I would like to share with you that we have also result. I was listening to your words alone among the nature to get more information of what you have said already.
Yes.
And finally realized that the insulating plates of the anti-gravity device, they need to be not so wide. They need to be gaps very...
All right. Well, you see, that's exactly what we're saying. When you take it upon yourself to go into the places that you're attracted to go and go into the states that you're attracted to be in, you will get the information you need. It will be downloaded from many different sources, including us, but you have the ability now to do these things by putting yourself in the proper frame of mind, in the proper environment that is conducive to getting the information that you need. So you now have these abilities. You don't need us as much as you think you do.
Okay.
All right.
My last question is, because you say that some help from Sirius, is there any message or is there any particular permission slip I can using to connect?
Focus on the Mobius strip.
Mobius strip, like the loop, like infinity loop.
Yes. Focus on that in a meditative state. It will help you download the information that you need.
Any particular colors like blue and white and
we leave that up to you, but remember the colors of the signature of Sirius.
Yes, I just make a meditation on that.
All right. Thank you.
Bashar, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You are welcome.